opposition perspective, reporting successful small businesses. Bill Esterson is an MP. He's also Shadow Minister for Small Business. Please welcome.
Thank you very much. Actually, the Shadow Minister for Business Industry and construction block. Really pleased to follow Fergus actually, because he's answered the question about licensing that in a comprehensive way and outlined just how what a challenge it is. And I'm really pleased to hear that insight from you, Fergus, as the base official. And I hope you'll be advising me soon on how I might go about addressing the very serious challenge. I was first elected in 2010, which is the same year as Matt Hancock. Just want to confirm that's all we have in common.
Right now.
I will not be going on under celebrity under any circumstances. You can quote me on that if you want. But enough of bush tucker trials. Unlike Matt Hancock, some of us have work to do. And I'm here to talk about the fabulous FMB builders. So thank you very much to the Federation of Master Builders for inviting me to speak today. I think Building for Success is a brilliant title for the discussions that you're having. And I'll just go through a couple of stories about which I've been on recently to see the fabulous work, not least on retrofitting. I went with Nick Nelberg and Erlen Callan Design and Build to see a brilliant project, the endless possibilities of insulation, triple glazed windows, wood instead of PVC, and of course heat pumps. And it really was a pleasure to see Nick in his natural environment, well, seeing them anyway, and to meet the rest of the team. But in my city region in Liverpool, we've also got a company called EcoG, who are working on, who have been one of the probably the trailblazers that the government have introduced more recently, looking at some of the poorer quality housing stock in my borough of Sefton. And the work they're doing is transformative for the residents and it's making a big difference to energy bills, also making a big difference to the quality of life of residents and the skilled workers recruited by EcoG. Now, until to Nick's point about where we are in the lost decade, it's paraphrasing what you said, sorry, Fergus, what you said. The country did have a significant retrofit program until 2012, and I very strongly regret the fact that it was scaled down. Delays in decision making and short-term schemes clearly don't work either, and I think the numbers tell their own story. Just over 34,000 installations of energy efficient retrofits of all types between April and June this year, where it was 91,000 in the previous quarter. Now, I acknowledge that things are turning around already, and I'm really pleased, Fergus, with the commitments that you made on behalf of the department. But the inadequate approach we've had certainly made no sense in our after an energy crisis, and it makes no sense for the economy either. Average bills would be £1,000 lower a year if homes were up to EPC level C on average. We use less imported gas to help with our energy supply and security, we create jobs, lots of them, boost the economy and the building trade, and that's what we want to do as a party in government. That's why Keir Starmer announced our national mission to insulate 19 million homes in the UK over the next 10 years. Our programme will involve grants to low-income households, while those able to afford the cost improvements will receive low-interest loans. It's a partnership with the building trade. It delivers long-term policy certainty, much-needed confidence to encourage investment in the sector. So to some of the challenges, and Brian has given me my homework before today's event on some of the challenges to address. The Building Merchants Federation reception last month told me all about the supply chain challenges of availability and price rises when I spoke at their parliamentary reception. Our industrial strategy and our constructive approach to the European Union, part of how we envisage improving supply chain resilience and improving availability and price stability of materials as a result. We have to address that shortage of skilled workers, and the downward trend in apprenticeships for the last few years. Our plans will create 100,000 new apprenticeships for young people across the country each year. And we've announced a change in the levy arrangements that can be used to train existing workers as well as to recruit apprentices. Our plans are flexible, and again, they follow the evidence presented to us across industry. The Federation of Master Builders has rightly highlighted the reputational damage that's done by cowboy builders. It means consumers are wary of committing to home improvements, and it undermines decent firms who are safe, who deliver quality work. So I am very keen to work with the FMB. It sounds like I might have the opportunity with some thinkings already going on in place to develop a scheme that can address this very, very concern. And, you know, frankly, it is a concern that potentially restricts the ability to roll out national retrofit scheme. I completely accept the need to create a level playing field between markets and SME house builders. If we're going to build more homes, SME builders are crucial role to play. But if we are going to turn around the construction sector, we have to turn around the whole economy. And Tom's presentation earlier spells out just how stark the challenges are. We have the lowest investment in the G7. Growth since 2010 has averaged 1.6%. That's a full 0.5% below where it was for the previous 13 years. Productivity is the weakest in the G7, while inflation is among the highest. That low growth has meant low wages, low profits, and cuts in public services too, through lower tax receipts. And the 0.5% off growth represents £35 billion less each year for our NHS, for our schools, for our police. We do have to transform our economic prospects. And for people as individuals, for consumers, for working people, for business owners, £500 a month rise in mortgages on average, once people come off their fixed terms, is clearly a very serious concern at an individual level and for the economy as a whole. As too is the rise in interest rates for businesses and the impact of energy prices. Having seen what's happened in government in recent works, Labour are working as hard as we can to demonstrate stability, to rebuild confidence from the markets in us as a government in waiting. Market confidence is essential. Interest rates are to fall, and if investor confidence is to rise. So to demonstrate our credibility, we are costing everything we commit to. Just give the example of our energy plan over the summer. We identified how we would freeze all consumer bills over the winter. And we would pay for it through introducing a windfall tax on the record excess profits of oil and gas. Now, I hope Chancellor's about to finally follow that plan and introduce one in his written statement. Our industrial strategy is how we'll ensure higher growth and attract investment. Our plan will deliver self-sufficiency in renewable electricity generation by 2030, alongside that national insulation mission. Labour will invest in reducing bills, creating jobs, and reducing our reliance on imports of energy and on demand for energy. And we'll do so as partners to attract private investors and by working with the business community. I'm committed to working closely with the FMB to push the current government to invest in giving you the certainty you need of long-term projects. And I want to be able to visit more of you, delivering the brilliant projects like Nick Nelberg's in Sydenham and EcoG's in Stafford. This government won't deliver a national retrofit strategy. Rest assured that Labour will do so. Thank you very much.